Hi there, it's Karen at Corrie Paper Crafts here. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in central Scotland. Today I want to show you this little box here. It's a gift box that I made to hold a little bottle, a 60ml bottle of Body Shop shower gel, just like this one. It's using the new in colours, the 19-21 in colours, and this colour here is terracotta tile, and it's tone on tone stamping. The ink is the same colour as the card, which is terracotta tile, and the little centres of the flowers I used the Pretty Peacock ink, 2 of the 5 new in colour inks as well. So I'm going to get on and show you how I made it, and I'll just pop that to the side just now. This time I'm going to use Rococo Rose cardstock, which is one of the 5 new in colours as well, and I'm going to do the tone on tone stamping for the flowers, and the little centre I'm going to do in Purple Posy ink. So first of all I want to do my stamping, and for that I'm going to use the Floral Essence stamp set, beautiful new stamp set in the new annual catalogue, and I'm going to use this little flower here and this little stamen for the middle of it as well, and I've already got those mounted on blocks. So I've got the flower mounted on a B block and the little middle in on an A block. So oops, because these are new, they're still really quite stiff. So I'm going to do some of the stamping, and then I think what I'll do is I'll pause the video and then come back once I've got all the stamping done. So it's just random stamping. I don't want the flowers right on top of each other, but I don't want them too far apart because it's quite a small box, so big gaps on a small box are going to be quite noticeable. So if I do those flowers just now and then bring in my Purple Posy ink for the little centres. On this box with the Pretty Peacock ink I actually stamped off, and this is a second generation stamp as we call it, but because the Purple Posy is a very light delicate colour anyway, I'm just going to stamp straight on. So without getting my head under the camera, I'm trying to line it up as best I can and pop it in the middle. It's very, very subtle, but you can see it in the middle of the flower there. So I think I'll pause the video for now, and then I'll come back once I've finished all the stamping. So I'll be back with you very soon. And I'm back again for take 2. If anybody's noticed that some of the flowers look different, you would be right. This is the first one that I started to stamp, and when I came back and started to do my scoring, I had my card the wrong way around. So I really do think it's time to make a cup of tea. So I've actually stamped it with the 7 1/8 inch length along the way, if that makes sense, but I really need to turn it round to do my scoring. So because I've stamped randomly and they're kind of dotted around, I don't think it'll make a lot of difference. But that's my flowers stamped tone on tone with the Rococo Rose, and the little middles are with the Purple Posy, which I think is just lovely. I wanted it to be quite subtle, I didn't want it to be too dark, so bringing in my scoring board and hopefully scoring it the right way around this time, she said. So on the short side, not the long side, so you want the 6.5 side along the top, 6.5 inch side along the top, you are going to score every 1.5 inches. So you're scoring at 1.5 and at 3 and at 4.5 and at 6, and then turning it round to the 7 1/8 side. I've put myself off now. You're going to score at 1 1/2 and at 5 1/8 and at 6 5/8, and that's the last score line. And that's when I noticed in the last take that I had scored it all the wrong way around. So the ink should be nice and dry by now, so you're just going to fold and burnish along all your score lines. And then you're ready to do some cutting. So what you want to do is you want to, I don't know, this is really the top here. This is the bottom and this is the top with the tuck-in flap, but it's a closed bottom, so you don't need the tuck-in flap on the bottom. So on each side, and it's probably easier to see it on this side, you're going to take away this narrow part and this complete part as well, taking away the score line as you go and cutting at a bit of an angle too. So same here, cut down there, just taking the score line away and cut at an angle here. So you're left with this, which is what is going to join your box together. So you want to make sure that you can see where this join is, because that's going to be at the back of your box, and you're going to bring this flap over. So you're going to keep, make into a flap, remove and make into a flap. So sometimes what I do is, I know this one that I'm keeping, I'm going to make that one into a flap, so I'm going to cut off a lot of that. I'm going to take that off completely, and I'm going to make that into a flap, so I'm going to cut off a lot of that as well, if that makes sense. Because once your box goes together, these side bits here are going to be your flaps, this is going to go completely, and this is your lid that's going to come over. And as far as the bottom is concerned, you are just going to cut up all 4 score lines. So we'll do that one first, just to this horizontal score line. You're not going to cut up any further than that. And then, because this is a flap that's going to come over and close your box, you want to remove that score line but not cut too far into this flap, so that it will stay shut and cover the top of the box. So you don't want it narrower than the width of the box, if that makes sense, but you do want to take the score line away. So I've cut right up the edge of that score line. This one doesn't really matter. I'm just going to cut right up that score line because I'm going to notch it to make it into a flap anyway. And the same with this one, you don't have to be quite so precise. So getting these flaps out of the way just now, we're going to just completely remove that one there. So you've got something now that's looking like that with all these flaps for the bottom. And then you're going to cut about half of that square off to make your flaps. So roughly there and roughly there. You don't want them to overlap too much when you put your box together, but that's actually okay. I might take another tiny little bit off both of them just so that the lid sits flush once I do close it, and actually this one's not that straight anyway, so not that it matters too much. So when I've put my box together and the flaps come over, they're going to meet fairly exactly in the middle. And then all you want to do is just notch slightly on this one and this one, or this side, and the same on this flap. Slight notch here and a slight notch here. And what I'm also going to do is bring in my contraband corner rounder and just round the corners on the flap that's going to close my lid. Just pop that into corner and round it off. And then all that I need to do now is add some tearing tape along this part here. I'll start from the bottom end, I think, because I'm going to have a little bit overlapping and have to turn it under. So, piece of tape along here. You know me and my ruler by now if you've watched my other videos. And give it a little press down. Remove the backing. Turn that little edge over and just bring this edge straight over and join it together. Okay, now because this is the front of your box, what you should do, or what you could do rather, is close that to keep the shape of your box, and remember that your side flaps want to go in first, your back flap then comes in, and you want to add a little bit of tearing tape. I'm going to add a couple of bits just because it's going to have a little bit of shower gel in it, so it's going to have some extra weight. I would normally tape down my inside flaps too, but just for quickness on the video I'm not going to do that today. Take the backing off the tape and just pop that flap down. If you've got any overhang at the bottom at all, then just come in with your paper snips and take those little bits off. And now for a little bit of stamping, just checking what way round it is. So for the tag, I thought I would show you a host stamp set. So if you host a party which is over £150 worth of orders, then you can order some products at a discounted price. So this one is Time for Tags. I really like this. I'm probably going to use it a lot, and I'm just going to stick with the same stamp again, which I've already got mounted, the little birdie, on a block. And if I bring back my Rococo Rose ink and grab a piece of Very Vanilla cardstock, I can't find a small piece, so it's just going to have to be a bigger piece, sorry Connie, and ink up my stamp and stamp it down onto my card. Put the ink away before I get covered in it, and I'm going to bring in, oh my goodness, I can't remember the name of this punch. If you give me just a second, I'll look it up. My mind has gone complete blank. There is my catalogue. Let's see, punches. Oh my goodness, it's gone completely. So I can show you the inside of the catalogue now, I don't have to hide it. It's a timeless label punch. It is a new punch in the new catalogue. I knew it was some sort of label, but I couldn't remember which, so it's the timeless label. And I'm just going to line it up round my stamped image and just take a hold of it without actually punching it, just to check that I'm happy with the border around it, which I am, and punch it out. And then all I need to do is pop a couple of dimensionals on the back, one there and one there, and probably before I put the dimensionals on I should have added my faceted gems. So I've got the 2019 to 21 in colour faceted dots, and this is Rococo Rose, so I'm just going to add, I don't know what that is, one of the Toty ones just here, and one of, come on, doesn't want to come off, one of the, oh, I don't think all its adhesive has come with it, one of the medium ones on there, looks like it'll be okay though. And then I'm just going to stick that onto the front of my box. Make sure I've got it the right way around, kind of centrally, and then all that I need to do is add a piece of ribbon, and I've not even opened this one yet, so very carefully getting rid of the plastic trim. And this is gorgeous, this ribbon, but it's really quite stiff, so tying a bow wasn't a huge amount of fun, so I'm going to cut off about that much, but so that it holds my box down. Given that it's a pink box, I'm going to put my pink grapefruit shower gel inside, and that will help to hold the box still while I put my ribbon on and tie the bow. And hopefully I'll be able to bring it through, because it's a one-sided ribbon. So what I want to do is to be able to, if I do it that way, she said, oh, this is going to be fun. I'm trying to hold the knot tight as well, so that I've got the colour coming out the sides and just a little bit of the plain colour in the middle. That's alright actually, it's better than the first one. And then just give it a little trim here, because I don't want it too long, and just cut that a little bit off, and a little trim here. And that's my box made. So I should really do a video with the bloopers in it as well. That's them from the top with their little bows tied, and that's slightly more successful than that one. I think that one looks a bit of a mess. I might redo that one. And that's them with their little birdies and their faceted gems on the front. So thanks for watching. If you want to see the next video that I post, then I would love you to subscribe to my channel and click on the little bell icon as well, which makes sure that you get notified when I next post a video. Thanks for watching, take care, bye bye for now.